and welcome to WebSchool, the comprehensive educational management platform. I will be highlighting and showcasing the user functionality. Now, as you can see, we are on the Start section. This is the screen that every user will get when they first enroll to WebSchool. Now, as an admin, I have special account privileges, which allows me to edit and provide more information than the standard user. Now to begin, as you can see here, we have a profile picture that you can upload from the files, from the device. You can take a picture with a camera and you can remove it if necessary. Here we have the basic information. As you see here, we have name, last name, preferred name, and other types of identifying information. Here is the visa number. So the visa number works because students from overseas can partake in Australian schools. So they can take part of classes online and perform the curriculum the exact same way that a student within the school can. Another part is the contact information down below. You will have an email, you will have a phone number, you have co-enrollment, and you will have an address. And there's also emergency contacts for cases. Now, as we move on to the organization, as an admin, I can create the organization and change it to how I see fit. So as you can see here, the organization will have a full name, a short name, it will have an organization type, so this can be a Federal Ministry of Education, regional, district, public school, public kindergarten, private school, and a multitude of other different types of organizations, as you can see here. Now here we'll have the main school address, so this is where the school will be found within the Australia. Here you will have language. Here you will have an email of the admin who set up the school, which is the CEO of the company. You will have a phone number, this is just a temporary phone number. You will have website information and on other sorts of types of systems. One such is the grading system, which is ABCD as set here. And the curriculum standard, which is the Australian Curriculum V9, which is the current standard used by schools. You also have the academic year setting here. Next, we have the building plan. Now, within the building plan, there are a multitude of things you can see. So first we have the main building. Now, within the main building itself, we have multiple floors. Now, within these floors, we can see how each classroom is laid out according to your school plan. Each of these can be created to mimic your school plan exactly, so that teachers, students, and staff can navigate their way around the school from the online map. As you can see here, we have Room 101 English, and this will highlight the room itself. And this goes for Room 102 Mathematics and all the other types of rooms within the floor. Next, we will move on to classes. Now, classes is a very important feature of WebSchool as it's how students operate. Now, within the classes themselves, a key feature is how they work. So, as you can see here, when I go to edit a class, the class name will be here, so this can be prep all the way to year 12. There will be a class name, so this can be yellow or any other type of name. This can be letters, symbols, and numbers. Here we are of the class teacher, so this can be the teacher role assigned to the class, which will be explained later. And then we have other sorts of types of information, as well as the special standard followed. Here you can see we have chatting between students, which is allowed, blocked during lessons, or blocked. Here we have the minimum capacity and the maximum capacity. And also an emblem here so that they can edit as they will. Now, when you go here, in the class, you can also, when you edit, can go to the student list. Now within the student list, here is a list of all the students that are present in this class. What this also allows you to do is transfer the students accordingly between classes. As you can see here, we want to transfer Isabella Bellin, and here we have the class, and we can select it to any class we want to transfer that is currently existing within the organization. This allows seamless transfer between classes and facilitates a smooth transition between students so that they don't have to worry about mixing up classes. Now, as the next feature, we go to the user's role. This is one of the key features of WebSchool and one of the most important parts of it. As you can see here, we already have an example list of users and team members who are currently working on WebSchool. So, to begin with, the first basic function of WebSchool is to create a new user. As you can see here, we have the email field, so this is where you put in an email so that the student can be emailed. You will have here name, so this is just first name, last name as before. You will have the gender, you will have the birthday, and you will have the role. Now the role is the key part of this. So as we put temporary data, so we have johndoe@gmail.com. We already have a user. This is another feature before, but for this showcase I will show it manually. So we have johndoe2@gmail.com. We have John, we have Doe, and then we have gender here. So we have female, male, and undefined. We also have the birthday, which is not necessary. Now in the role, this is one of the key features. So as you can see here, we have the student role. Now within the student role, they can be assigned to different classes. Now within this class, they can be assigned to any of the classes that are in the organization, as showcased previously. You can also add a class here within this menu, as seen before. It's the same version before, you just create in this template. Now the next role is the teacher role. The teacher role acts as a sort of managerial role for the students. They have access to the student records, they can set homework, they can set tasks, chores, and they can manage the student reports. They are next preceded by the admin role. Now the admin role is the super user role of WebSchool. It grants access in an organization to complete changes of the organization itself. So as you can see before within my organization tab, that is only accessible by the admin role. And there are many other key features that the admin role has, which is very important to the management of the organization. Teacher aide, similar to the teacher functionality, just a little less in terms of permissions. Psychologist has a lot more access to the medical records of the students. These are generally for counselors and other sort of mental health facilities within schools. The medic, another role like the psychologist, has a lot of access to the students' medical data. So this is specifically for allergies and any type of injury that may occur. Caterer is more for the food and the canteen. So this is a smaller role. The security role involves access control to the entire school. They have access to security cameras to monitor and watch and make sure of a safe environment for the students to learn in. Another feature is that the security role can create user IDs so that visitors can visit and have their times tracked so that when they leave, the school knows who has arrived and who has visited and when they have left. The registered role is just a role to assign to an individual who is not currently assigned to a specific role within the school. The final role is the accountant role. They are responsible for all the finances within the school. They manage tuition fees, school budgets, and anything of the sort. They will have access to financial records and management of the financial accounts. Next is the parent role. Now the parent role is attached to the child. The child is any student within the organization. So as you can see here, John Doe will be the parent of Abigail Baker. So we will not send an invitation email, and then once created, success. Now John Doe is the parent of the child. Now what that means is that as John Doe can view the reports and the progress of the student themselves within WebSchool as a whole. I will go into how that works shortly. Now another key feature of WebSchool is to add users via Excel. Now to add users via Excel, you will first create a document that fills out all the data you see here. So in the Excel document, you will have the email, the name, the last name, a middle name if preferred, the gender, the birthday, the role. So once you add, you can see here you have students or teachers. So if you add a multitude of students, say such as schools like Cherrybrook where they have 3,000 students, this would be vital so that they don't have to manually add every student into the platform. Another key feature is when you add teachers. This is so that you can add multiple teachers if you have say 40 to 50 teachers for all the grades. Another key feature is the filter function. So this allows you to search for which student in particular in a mass amount of students. As you can see here, there are a lot of students, and here we can see the account we created. So if you want to search for the account, you just look for the name, so John Doe, and as you can see here, here are two example accounts. You can also search for class that they're in. So if you know that the student is in 4 yellow but you do not know their name, you'll see here that you have 3 students assigned to 4 yellow. Next, the timetable functionality. Here you can see how we can assign different classes to different times. So you have the 9 a.m., the English, the design, Chinese, all examples. So the simple, you just add the lesson, add the key learning area, which subject it is, so we can say it's English. We can see that the teacher is Nathaniel Roberts. The room, like we mentioned before, floor 1, main K2, room 101. So this is how you create a lesson. Finally, we have the app. So this is for requesting specific services. And there you go. Once you've done that, you've set up your WebSchool administration and organization details, as well as setting up your users functionality. Another key aspect of how the roles interact with one another within WebSchool is how you can change roles. So as you can see here, this is my main account. Now if I go to here and change roles, I can see that I already have multiple other roles added. So as a parent of one of these students, how that works is I go here to add role, I click parent, then I click any student I want, and then I click OK. Now as the parent of that student, I can now see anything that happens with them. So as we go back here, I can go check to a demo account that I've created before. So this is my account. I am now the parent of myself. As you can see here, when it loads, we now access the parent portal. So within the parent portal, we have the student report. This will give the daily student reports, the attendance, or the subjects I'm doing in what class I am in, and the teacher. As you can see here, we have the student planner, so the parent can see what the student is doing, what time, and what rooms. Another couple things here is the medical, so this is where the students' medical reports are all set up and diagnosed. Then you have finances, market, canteen, and these are all part of the WebSchool experience. Now another key feature is that when students are being created, they can be accessed from different organizations. So as you can see here, we can go to a different organization entirely, which I am an admin in, which is WebSchool. Now within WebSchool, I can go to users. Within users, I can create a new user, and here, this account here, tutor.terescu@gmail.com, is already an account within Demo School. Now, what happens here? See, user with the email has been found. So now we can add a new role for the user. Now when we add that new role, we can put it student here, class 1A, or we can set it to parent, and then the child can be any one of the users in this organization. So this is how roles can interact with one another. Now that this user can interact with anything, you can see how they now have various roles, so that the user can now change between roles as I have been doing. As you can see here, I have multiple roles and I can switch between any of them that I want to. As the student role right here, so this will present me with the student portal. And now we can go back to the admin account within the demo school. And now I have access to all the functionalities of the demo account again. So this is how all the roles work within WebSchool. This is how important it is to highlight how useful the role system is within WebSchool. Another key feature of the user functionality is the ability to transfer users between classes. So as you can see here, we can go to change roles. As you can see here, the student is in 5 yellow in the organization demo school for this purpose. We can go to edit, and here we can assign the student to any other class they want to be transferred to. This is a core functionality in order to change students between classes quickly and efficiently. Another key feature of WebSchool is multi-factor authentication. Now, multi-factor authentication is available for every single user on the website. So this can be a student, a teacher, the medic, the psychologist, and especially admins. So how does this work? As you can see here, we have the MFA editor. So MFA stands for multi-factor authenticator. So once we switch it on, this means that I am now activating my multi-factor authentication and the type is email. So if I want to create a new version, I go here at the plus icon. I go to MFA type. I click email. I put the value in as the key and then I press enabled. Once created, then you now have multi-factor authentication enabled for the user account. On a final note, thank you for listening to the presentation of the user functionality. I hope this helps, and I hope it further provides a tutorial in how to use users efficiently.